Hey y'all, Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football here at my hotel room in Tyler, bringing you the regional final Friday night instant reaction. And we're going to do this one a little bit different. We're going to whip around the state every bracket. We're down to the regional finals. Only 25 games are played tonight. So let's take a look at the entire state, each 11-man bracket. Let's start in 6A Division One. Only one game tonight. Austin Westlake in the Battle of the Lakes takes down Lake Travis in another hard-fought game, 24-17. Austin Westlake advances to the state semifinals, plays the winner of tomorrow afternoon's game between North Shore to Atascocita. In 6A Division 2, Vandergrift, as expected, rolls past San Antonio Harlan, 47-14. Drew Sanders Ball Club into the state semifinals for the second time in 3 years. They will take on the winner of tomorrow afternoon's Battle of Humble ISD between Kingwood and Summer Creek. 5A Division 1. We also only had one game in that bracket. The rest of the games are tomorrow. Highland Park, back to the state semifinals. 41-28 win over Frisco Lone Star. Sophomore quarterback Buck Randall. That Scott's defense continues to play well. They will play the winner of tomorrow afternoon's game between Aledo and Denton Ryan. That should be a doozy. 5A Division 2, we did have some games today. 3 games out of 4 were played tonight, and a lot of surprising results. Let's start in Nacogdoches, the game that everyone had their eyes on. South Oak Cliff and PNG, the rematch of the last 2 state championship games. SOC wins the rubber match in emphatic fashion. 56-14, SOC dominates PNG from the opening kickoff. They return it inside the 5, score 1 play later, get an interception on PNG's second offensive play. 1 play later, they score. 90 seconds into the game, it's 14-0. It was over, folks. PNG tried to make a little bit of a run there, got it to 7 a couple of times, but South Oak Cliff scores the game's final 35 points. A completely dominant effort from that South Oak Cliff offensive line, dominating PNG, and then their defensive line held up against PNG's offensive line, forced the Indians into a lot of passing situations. SOC dominated. A thorough performance from Jason Todd's Ball Club. Congratulations to those guys. Another dominant performance. How about Todd Rogers and the Argyle Eagles? Rolling past Todd Dodge and the Lovejoy Leopards, 42-17, setting up a really intriguing state semifinal game between Argyle and South Oak Cliff that'll be played somewhere in the Metroplex, most likely Friday night. Haven't heard a location just yet. A rematch of the 2022 state semifinals where SOC won the Fog Bowl over Argyle 10-6. That was a great one. Region 4, Bernie, their offense got rolling in a big way. They take down Corpus Christi Miller 65-50. A huge win for the Bernie Greyhounds in their first year in Class 5A, moving up from 4A. They're into the semifinals. They'll play the winner of tomorrow evening's game between Richmond Randall and Iowa Colony. In 4A Division 1, let's go down to there. West Plains upset Stephenville 42-35. Congrats to the West Plains Wolves into the state semifinals for the first time in school history. It's only their 3rd varsity season. They take down Stephenville. Very, very impressive from West Plains quarterback Reed Macon and company, keeping it rolling. They will take on Salina, who in a battle of unbeatens against Alvarado, it was close at halftime. Dominant second half from the Salina Bobcats. They roll past Alvarado 55-21. Salina takes on West Plains in the semifinals next week. Out here in East Texas, it was 2 East Texas teams, but they played in Forney. Kilgore, after losing to Chapel Hill 3 straight years in the playoffs, gets their revenge. They knock off Chapel Hill 30-6. Congrats to Clint Fuller's Ball Club. They will take on 3rd place Lavernia out of 15 4A Division 1. Lavernia with the stunner. They avenged their regular season loss to Bay City. They avenged the regular season loss to Port Lavaca Calhoun last week. Lavernia, the Bears, into the state semifinals. 42-24 win over Bay City. Congrats to the Lavernia Bears. They will take on Kilgore in the other 4A Division 1 semifinal. 4A Division 2, the story of the night, the Brock Eagles. Losing to Graham in the regular season, 38-0. Billy Mathis's Ball Club with a virtuoso defensive performance against Graham. Brock stuns Graham 12-10, avenging a 38-0 regular season loss. Unbelievable stuff from the Brock Eagles. They will take on the Carthage Bulldogs next week, who did Carthage things. 53-14 over Van. It was 53-7 at the half. Carthage calls off the Dogs literally in the second half. Dominant performance from Scott Surratt's Ball Club. They'll take on Brock next week. I have not heard a location on that game quite yet. Down in Region 3, Waco La Vega knocks off Sealy 48-30. Don Hyde's ball club in their first year in 4A Division II after dropping down into the state semifinals. They will take on Doug Warren and the Wimberley Texans. Wimberley knocks off Sinton 36-33. But Wimberley had to hold off a furious comeback from the Sinton Pirates late. Sinton had the ball down 3, got stopped on a 4th down, turned it over. Wimberley hangs on literally for a 36-33 win to advance to the semifinals. They will take on Waco La Vega. My guess is that game will be somewhere in the North Austin area. Let's turn the page now. 3A Division I. We had the big story tonight in Region 3. Columbus knocks off Franklin 62-42. Franklin just had no answers to that Columbus offense. Franklin got it down to, they were down 35-7 in the first half. They rattle off 3 touchdowns in a row, make it 35-28. But then Columbus hits another gear once again. Adam Schobel, Grayson Rigdon, that duo, unbelievable. Franklin had played in 4 straight state championship games. Columbus ends their run 62-42 in Region 3. They will take on the Edna Cowboys, who are in the semifinals for the 3rd straight year. They knock off Llano. Sorry, Ashley Pickle, 41-14. And then in Region 1, Paradise, an impressive win over Shallowater, 32-15. Let's get down to 3 Division 2. Thursday night, Gunner knocks off Holiday 33-7 for Gunner's 9th consecutive regional title. And you're thinking, oh, Gunner's going to play Canadian in the state semifinals, right? Nope. The Wall Hawks, with maybe one of the most dominant performances of the night, they knock off Canadian 49-3. We're going to get Wall versus Gunner. I believe it's at 4:30 next Friday at Shotwell Stadium in Abilene. In Region 3, congrats to the Woodville Eagles. They'd never made the 3rd round of the playoffs until this year. Well, now they're in the 5th round. A dominant win over Dangerfield, 40-7. Congrats to Ty Robinson and the Woodville Eagles. They will take on the Tidehaven Tigers. David Lucio does it again. Tidehaven upsets Lexington 35-21. What a performance from Tidehaven. Lexington looked like the team to beat after blowing Poth out last week. Tidehaven was having none of it. Congrats to the Tigers, 35-21 over Lexington. So we get Tidehaven versus Woodville in the other semifinal in 3AD2. In 2AD1, last night, Stanford remains undefeated. They roll past Poth in an impressive fashion. They will take on the 14-0 Hamilton Bulldogs. That's right, the Hamilton Bulldogs with a grinded out 15-14 win over Axel to advance to the state semifinals. Congrats to Coach Marwitz and the Hamilton Bulldogs. They will take on Stanford in a battle of 14-0 teams. Should be Herd Mineral Wells for that location Thursday night, but I haven't confirmed that quite yet. In Region 3, I was at Joaquin in Honeygrove. You can watch my video on YouTube with the interview with Jared Jones, the head coach of the Joaquin Rams. 4th place Joaquin. That's right. All you guys that say, oh, there's too many teams in the playoffs. 4th place Joaquin in the state semifinals. They are going to take on the Ganado Indians, who knocked off Marlin last night 41-14. I believe we have that location Thursday night at Woodforest Bank Stadium there in the Woodlands. Finally, 2A Division II. Let's round it all out at this 8+ minute instant recap. Probably going to hit 9 minutes here pretty soon. We had Groover rallying to knock off Ropes 42-28. The unbeaten Groover Greyhounds win Region 1. They will take on the Munster Hornets, who blew past Collinsville 54-14 in the state semifinals. I believe that game is slated for Thursday night in Childress. Then we have Bremond avenging a regular season loss to Grapeland, not Grapevine. Bremond and Grapevine would be a weird 2A game. Bremond knocks off Grapeland 45-14, avenging a regular season loss to the Sandys earlier this year in non-district play. And then last night, Shiner knocked off Junction 27-0. So that whips you around the state. Just a few quick instant thoughts from that game, from these games. A lot of impressive results. I think the most impressive, Brock knocking off Graham, South Oak Cliff taking down PNG in emphatic fashion, and then Kilgore avenging a 3-year losing streak to Tyler Chapel Hill in the playoffs. So that's it from Tyler. I'm going to get a little sleep, and then I'm headed to Houston in the morning. Got a doubleheader at NRG Stadium, LaPorte and Angleton, and Richmond Randall and Iowa Colony. And as always, stay with TexasFootball.com and the entire Dave Campbell's team for the best coverage of Texas high school football anywhere.